What's up, y'all? It's your boy Double here. Since I've been working a lot lately, I haven't really had time to like catch up on a lot of movies or TV stuff like that. It's just, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, when you kind of have videos to record, whatever, and you're, you know, pretty much always running around, it's kind of hard to do. So that's why a lot of them are in my car, because sometimes they're in between places or whatever. So this is gonna be another one. We did the Knives Out a couple weeks ago, whatever. That got good little views on there. Me and Big A are kind of working on another questions video. So if probably recorded something that's coming a weekend. So when this comes out, if you have, you know, any questions that you would like us to ask, if you haven't watched the questions video, go check that out. You know, just kind of asking people like, you know, 5-6 random questions or whatever, and I kind of get the responses or the questions. I mean, the answers, I should say. Most of them are way off, you know, but I mean, it's all good fun. Other than that, kind of want to talk about a series that I just finished, which has been out for over a year now, but I just finally got around to it. Haunting Hill House. So, you know, I heard the hype when it came out, how good Haunting Hill House was, you know, and it kind of came across like almost like a Stephen King, which it was a Stephen King adaptation, which even when I watched it, I still felt like it was like a Stephen King adaptation. It's just, I you know, I know better than it's not. But, like I said, when it first came out, you know, I heard a lot of hype about it. That was really good. You know, everybody should check it out. And I just never got around to it. It also because I rarely watch anything that people are really hyping about. You know, even though like Walking Dead is kind of falling off now, but when it was in its prime, you know, I didn't watch it for like the first 3-4 seasons. You know, after people were hyping it up, 2 or 3 seasons, I should say. People were hyping it up. I was like, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, at the peak of hype right now, so I'm not really for it. You know, I don't want to be like just one, like if it's something that I discover like on my own, and you know there happens to be hype in there, then I'm cool with it. But like I don't like go check something out as soon as like I hear someone hyping about it, really like, you know, hyping it up, unless it's like something I already had interest in. You know, so when like the Haunting of Hill House came out, you know, I wasn't even sure like what it was. Like, was it because like, you know, there's, you know, House on Haunted Hill, you know, The Haunting, you know, all the other stuff. So I was like, what, like, is it based on one of those? It's like a series that has to do with something like that, you know, it's like a prequel or whatever to one of those. Really couldn't tell what it was, but I hadn't really had a chance to like get into it, you know, because I was trying to like get into, you know, or trying to finish up like the new season, that season of Flash that came out at that time, and you know, trying to keep up with all that Supernatural and all that good stuff like that. And even though I'm falling behind on that, but I was trying to like, I had like a bunch of shows that I was watching at the same time, so I wasn't really trying to get another show, you know, on my list. But I finally sat down and turned it on one night when I was just riding around, had nothing to do. I'm not riding around like watching at the same time, but like I kind of like, you know, because like I was like DoorDash, whatever. So like, you know, in between dashes, I'd watch something, whatever. So I picked it up when I was in between, you know, pickups, and so it was interesting. You know, when I went home, I'd watch it, or when I was eating something, I'd watch it. So like I wouldn't like watch like a full episode almost all the time. It would be, you know, 20-30 minutes of it or something, or you know, it would start to get good and then I get something or whatever. So it was just like, you know, I really hadn't picked it up, but I finally like sat down and you know, finished it and watched it and finished it. And like a lot of stuff that I've seen about it, like I agree with, like, you know, episode 5-6 hitters, you know, like it started off real slow, you know, like I said, first 3-4 episodes slow, you know, you just kind of get into it, and then 5 and 6 hit, you're like, whoa. And the ending comes, you're like, what? Like really, like I could have done, like with all this build up, you could have really had a better ending. But I think the biggest thing about the show that I discovered, not just finding all the ghosts that are in the background and stuff. Which, like, I watched a video that revealed most, if not all, of the ghosts. And unless you pause it at the right moment and like squint your eyes and like do all that good stuff, you're not really seeing those ghosts almost at all. So it really wasn't that big of a thing to try to find all these ghosts in the background of these episodes. But the biggest thing that I discovered about the show was that it was an adaptation of a show, not necessarily a prequel, but a different adaptation altogether of The Haunting, which was also a movie that came out in 1999, and there's another movie that came out in like 63 that I heard, and there's also a book which I haven't read the novel, and I didn't watch the 1963 movie, but I did watch the 1999 movie, and I liked it. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it. Had like Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, what's his name, Owen Wilson, and that one chick that's in, I was like, The Conjuring, and that movie Eli. I can never remember her name, but she's a good actress. I can never remember her name. But it had them in there, and the names, hearing the names like in the show, I was like, these names sound familiar, but I mean, you can hear these names anywhere. So it never clicked until like I saw someone talk about the comparison, and that is actually a part of that universe. And I was like, oh, that makes sense now. And the reason I didn't get it before was because the fact that they made them family, and like in the 1999 movie, whatever, they're all just like separate people who are going to a house to try to like cure their insomnia or whatever, and they just happen to be ghosts there, and happen to be one of the girls that was related to them, Nell, related to them, was actually their great grandchild or whatever, something like that. But it didn't really click that the characters that I was seeing were the same ones, especially since Liam Neeson's character, they turned him into Steven. Theo was pretty much the same. Claire, not Claire, what's her name, Cheryl, I don't remember a character of hers being in the movie, so maybe just like made her up. Luke, I don't remember him. Like I said, all the people that are in the movie, they're all just had insomnia, so they didn't sleep at night. But it wasn't like anything that had to do with something supernatural like it did with the show. But I enjoyed a different take on it, a different twist on it, and there were some things obviously I didn't like. The whole thing about the dad promised not to burn the house down and close it down, not happening. As soon as like I found out that my wife killed herself and the house was the problem, I don't care what the Dudley say, I'd have burned that mugger down. It wouldn't have stood very long. Like when he went back to check on his wife or whatever, went back to find out what happened, and that's when like he got all like the blood on his shoulder and something. After I left my children in the hotel room, which was another questionable act, that would have been when I burned it down. I don't care that, like, I'm sorry that like you lost your child in that house, and that's where her soul resides or whatever. Which, I mean, it's funny that like this house is holding your child's soul, but the house is also the reason why your child is dead. So I'm not going to be like, oh, let me keep this house around so that you can see her. No, nigga, I'm burning it down. Like I'm taking it out of commission. Like I'm not gonna sit here and let it stand and let it be a memorial to our past. No, it's out of here. It's out of there. But there's a lot of good things, like the I guess one of the things that made me think that it was Stephen King adaptation of Stephen King-esque was the whole Red Room thing, which kind of reminded me of like Rose Red. I don't know why, but that for some reason I kept wanting to put those two together like they were a thing, even though they weren't. But I did like okay, so after you finish it, you know, you kind of see, you know, some of the things that happened, like just thinking back on the things that happened, where Nell's kind of explaining how the Red Room was whatever it wanted to be for the kids at the time. And like after that, you kind of see how that works out. Like there's a part where the mother Fawn is looking for Luke, and Steven's like, well, did you check the treehouse? And she's like, funny. And I was like, first off, I was like, well, I was thinking, like, why would it be funny for him to be in his treehouse that the dad built for him? You know, I don't understand why that'd be funny. And then when Steven goes and finds him, he's like, yeah, I don't know why mom never thinks to look in here, you know, this place that dad built for you. And I was like, well, you have 5 kids, and you built this one son, the youngest one, or like this second to youngest, because I forgot Nell's like 90 minutes younger, but whatever it was. Like the youngest son, you built himself a treehouse, and I was like, this treehouse is big. Like that's like a nice sized room sized treehouse. That it is. Like I don't see a tree being that big to hold this child. But I mean this room like this. But I mean it's whatever. And but you also with like the other rooms, you know, with like Theo's dance room, whatever. You're like, okay, this is a big house. I mean, there's plenty of rooms in this house, so it's possible that she had this one room. But a lot of stuff they had didn't really go with the decor of the rest of the house. Like her room, the room that Theo was dancing in, didn't really go with the aesthetics of the house. Even like what was it? The toy room, the game room was like you could kind of see it because like it kind of looked like they just put a TV in there, you know. But also I'm trying to figure out, like, I get the fact that that they were seeing things that were in that room, but how did Steven take something out of that room as far as like, I mean, I guess they could have like, I guess the room could have like tricked him to where only he, like, it was there but only he saw it. I don't know. I guess that could have been a possibility. Whatever. But yeah, it's like it was a good show. There's just some things that like once you find out what they are, you're like, okay. And the other things you're like, like that Midnight Lady thing. I'm not really big on time traveling ghosts, you know, or your I guess your soul or your spirit, whatever, being in 2 different spots at the same time. I don't know, that's weird for me. Like it's kind of how they did. Was this Insidious 2? Yeah, where like the dad like is the one that knocked on the door in the first movie. He's the one that, like, you know, was the reason for the door opening in the apartment, like in the past, whatever. It's just a bunch of stuff where it's like, you know, how that happened or what's going on. It's just, oh, that was my soul time traveling, you know, back and helping y'all out. No, that's stupid. That's a cop out for me, you know. And having that Midnight Lady, you know, have pretty much, you know, haunting her entire life and it being her, just like, yeah, I feel like that could have been better. That could have been something different, I feel, you know. And when you find out she's the Midnight Lady, you're like, that's kind of messed up. that you had to like go through you had to watch your entire life, you know, with your neck cocked to the side, whatever. That was weird too. I'm just trying to figure out who that tall guy was that was like walking around the house with that cane, floating, you know, 1.5 feet above the ground, you know, at 6'8" and whatnot, a little bowler hat. That was a weird one. Also, I didn't like how, okay, and I'm not really, you know, big on like poisons or whatever, but I mean, if Luke injected rat poison like into his veins, I don't really think he should be like around anymore. Like, I get maybe it's like how was it potassium something, whatever they use for lethal injections. I know like in its pure form, something like that, I think it like burns the vein, so like it couldn't spread in there. Maybe it was something like that, but I mean, he still injected quite a bit into a system, but I don't know. It's possible that it didn't get far, I guess, but it was still like in his body. And I'm trying to figure out how, like, when they're carrying him out, how nobody else noticed the dad's dead body laying there, because like it's not like he hid it, you know, it was like right there in the hallway, and everybody else just passing by like they don't see it. Yeah, it was a good show. Ending could have been a lot better, but the rest of it I kind of enjoy. It's just like I really enjoy like finding like the backstory to things, and I don't know why Hugh Crane didn't like snap in my head as being part of the haunting. Again, it's probably been like maybe like it's probably almost 10 years since I've seen that movie last. I can think about it. Maybe not that long. Maybe like 6 or 7 years since I've seen that movie. So I mean, it's not like, you know, it was fresh in my mind when I saw it, when I watched the show. But I know it was one of those things where like once you find out what it is, you try to figure out, you know, what they did and how they kind of changed around. Yeah, it was interesting. Like it worked out well. When I watched it, you know, you see that, you know, is returning in 2020. I was like, oh, so they're gonna finish the story, and you're like, nah, it's gonna be a whole different haunted house type of thing. I was kind of upset because I still had a lot of answers. I mean, questions I wanted answers that I was seeking, I should say. But it was fine for what it was. I don't really feel like it was good. I don't feel like it lived to the hype that people were hyping it to, the level that people were hyping it to. But it was a good show. I'm gonna try to watch the next series. I'm gonna try to get into Raising Dion. There was another one that I was thinking about starting, but I can't remember what it was now. But if there's any other series that are on like Netflix or Hulu or something like that, that you would want me to get into or suggest that I watch, I'm into a lot of different things. So I mean, if you throw it at me, I might check it out a couple episodes if it's good. And I'll keep watching. If not, you know, I'll move on. But if there's anything that you think I'll be interested in or want to see, or maybe someone wants to see a review on, then hit me up in the comments below. Appreciate y'all watching the video. We got more stuff coming out for you. We're finally getting to a spot where we can start recording and start doing more videos again. So we're gonna try to get those rolling out pretty soon. Gonna start trying to edit the ones we already have that have just been kind of idling for a while. So like I said, if you got any suggestions or whatever, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff like that. Also, you know, got Star Wars coming out this month, and a couple other things that I've been interested in seeing. So hit me up with those. Other than that, it's been the boy Overlord. I'm out. Later.